I'm Carla Horn. I'm a food inspector for the Michigan Department of Agriculture. Let's take a look at some of the things that are required to be a successful food operator in the state of Michigan.
The most common question posed to food inspectors by new business owners is, I'm going to open a food business. What kind of building and equipment do I need to have? The requirements for your specific business are found in the food law, the food code, and the Good Manufacturing Practices rule in the federal regulations. The type of business that you operate will determine the requirements for your facility. In this video, we will give a general overview of the basic physical requirements for a food establishment. Contact your area food inspector to obtain specific requirements. The most basic requirement for a food establishment is that the building must be in good physical repair and suitable for the safe production of food. There should not be openings in the roof, walls, or foundation that would allow the weather or pests to enter. Also, the building must be of suitable size to facilitate the operation of your business. Is the building that you intend to operate in zoned for your intended use? Contact your local zoning officials to avoid unwelcome surprises. Another often overlooked area is the water supply and wastewater disposal. The Michigan food law requires food establishments to have approved water supplies and wastewater disposal facilities. MDA food inspectors will be asking you to provide evidence that these facilities are approved. Is the building serviced by a municipal water supply, or is water provided by a private well? Wells must meet construction, isolation, and testing requirements and be approved for use by the local health department. Wastewater must be disposed in a municipal system or a properly designed and constructed on-site system. This is another area where our partners at your local health department must be contacted for planning and approval of the facility. Floors in your food establishment must be smooth and easily cleanable. Acceptable materials for floor construction include sealed cement and commercial-grade vinyl tile or equivalent surface. Note that carpeting is not allowed in food processing, preparation, or storage areas. Walls and ceilings must also be smooth, easily cleanable, and non-absorbent. In food processing areas, acceptable materials include fiberglass wall panels, ceramic tile, commercial-grade formica, and vinyl-coated ceiling tiles or equivalent materials. In other areas, high-gloss, cleanable paint is acceptable. Lights in areas where food is exposed, as well as food display cases, must have safety-type bulbs installed or be otherwise shielded from breakage and the potential to contaminate foods. This includes all food preparation areas, coolers and freezers where food is stored, food display cases, and in equipment washing areas.
Your local mechanical inspector is responsible for the rules and regulations governing mechanical ventilation for cooking equipment.
Mechanical ventilation is required for equipment that generates smoke or grease-laden vapors, heat, or fumes. This includes ovens, fryers, ranges, broasters, some dishwashing equipment, and other equipment determined by the mechanical inspector to require mechanical ventilation. These requirements are found in the state mechanical code. Contact your local mechanical inspector for the requirements, permits, and approvals. The food law requires ventilation equipment be in compliance with applicable state law. Note that your food inspector must see that final approval has been granted by the mechanical inspector before a food establishment license may be issued. All preparation and processing tables must be smooth, easily cleanable, corrosion resistant, and durable for the intended use. They must be free of breaks, open seams, cracks, chips, or other similar defects. Acceptable materials include stainless steel, plastic laminate, or equivalent material. Also note that wooden tables are not acceptable for food use, with the exception of bakery products. Hand washing facilities must be provided in or adjacent to toilet rooms and conveniently located to food handling areas and food equipment and utensil washing areas. A sink is not considered to be conveniently located if one has to open a door or walk more than 25 feet to reach it. Each hand washing sink must be supplied with hot and cold running water and be equipped with hand cleanser and disposable paper towels for drying hands. The hand washing sinks must also be properly connected to the wastewater disposal system. Note that these sinks are to be used for hand washing purposes only. No other use is allowed.
Anytime we're working in a food processing area or a food prep area, we're going to have dirty dishes, pots, and pans, and we have to have an appropriate location in order to wash those dishes.
Food equipment and utensil washing facilities, such as a 3-compartment equipment washing sink, must be provided. Equipment and utensils must be washed, then rinsed in clean water, then sanitized with an approved sanitizer. The equipment washing sinks must have bays that are large enough to immerse the largest equipment for washing and must have drain boards for stacking soiled equipment as well as for air drying clean equipment. The equipment washing sink must be supplied with hot and cold running water and be properly connected to the wastewater disposal system. The last type of sink required for food establishments is a mop sink. A mop sink is required for filling and dumping mop buckets and for rinsing out soiled mops. All food establishments are required to have a toilet facility for the employees to use. Please note that public toilet facilities may be required by local zoning and building codes. Toilet facilities must be fully enclosed, be power vented to the outside air, have a self-closing door, and must have a proper hand washing sink located either inside the restroom or immediately outside the door. Food, food packaging, utensils, and employee work clothing may not be stored in the restroom. The Michigan Department of Agriculture receives many inquiries asking about home-based food businesses. Food that is to be offered for sale must not be prepared in a home kitchen. It is possible to license a separate kitchen for food production that is located at a residence. Check with your zoning officials as part of the planning process. Remember that all new construction or remodeling projects for commercial businesses are required to be completed by a licensed contractor. The necessary permits, such as building permits, plumbing permits, electrical permits, and mechanical permits, must be obtained before starting any work. Some of the best advice that we can offer you is this. If you are contemplating building a new food establishment or remodeling an existing food establishment, contact your area food inspector before you undertake any work. They are available to assist you by meeting with you to discuss your plans, looking over blueprints or drawings, or conducting a site visit to determine if your plans are in compliance with the requirements. Remember, it's much easier and cheaper to plan properly in advance than to make costly changes later. Remember to ensure that you have planned for the following aspects in your food business. Plan ahead. Water supply, sewage disposal, zoning considerations, local building and construction codes. Is the building suitable for the operation and in good repair? Easily cleanable floors, walls, and ceilings, proper lighting, properly constructed food equipment, adequate hand washing facilities, adequate equipment and utensil washing sinks, adequate toilet facilities, and remember to plan ahead and discuss your plans with the inspector to ensure you have all of your bases covered.